This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
The White House plans for 5 to 11-year-olds to get vaccinated against COVID-19 and how local doctors are reacting to the news. Then, why utility bills are expected to increase this winter and tips on ways to increase your bills low. And later, how a fall festival is working to encourage sustainability and fight food insecurity. All this and more coming up on Grady Newsource. Good evening, I'm Tyler Johnson. Thank you for joining me for Grady Newsource at 5. Pediatricians, pharmacies, and hospitals prepare for a change as the White House announces its plan to offer COVID vaccines to children aged 5 to 11 if the FDA approves. Grady Newsource reporter Nikki Schatz tells us what this could mean for your household.
More children may soon be eligible to receive their COVID vaccine. The White House announced their plan to administer the vaccine to children aged 5 to 11 this morning, pending on FDA approval. The FDA's Independent Advisory Committee will meet on October 26th and the CDC on November 2nd to 3rd. If approved by the FDA and recommended by the CDC, the White House plans to roll out vaccines for 28 million children aged 5 to 11. I talked to Dr. Kenny Esho, a local pediatrician, about their plans with administering the vaccine if authorized.
It's tremendous. It would give, again, parents some ease to feel more comfortable and feel like their child is protected. It will also allow some of these parents who have not been able to find childcare because they cannot, go to work, an opportunity to feel more comfortable to send their kids to school, and then they'll be able to, start working again if they do not currently work or have to scramble to find childcare.
Dr. Esho says they pre-ordered 300 doses of this vaccine to administer to their patients. The dose and formula would be specific for this age group. The administration is partnering with the Children's Hospital Association to set up vaccination sites in over 100 children's hospital systems across the country starting in November. We will continue following this story. Nikki Schatz, Grady Newsource.
As of Monday, Barrow County students are no longer required to wear masks in school. Alexis Elmore has more on the school's decision and protocols going forward.
In September, Barrow County School System announced that they would be reconsidering their mask requirement after fall break to review student COVID data. Effective this Monday, the superintendent will no longer require masks indoors. Holly Winstead, a parent to 2 Winder Barrow High School students, says according to the school system numbers, wearing masks was the best aid in keeping COVID cases down and students out of quarantine.
During August, when there weren't masks required, they had over 4,000 kids miss school because they were quarantined. And then in September, after the masks were required, they had less than 50.
Winstead, who is vaccinated but still immune compromised, says that her children will be doing their part and wearing masks to stay safe, despite the superintendent's ruling.
Even though, as we all know, masks do not protect the person wearing them, they only protect the people around them. They'll still be wearing masks.
As of now, in total, schools sit at 0.12% in positive cases. If this rises to 1%, masks will be required according to protocol. The CDC still recommends universal indoor masking in schools regardless of vaccination status. To keep cases down, schools will return to protocols that were put in place at the beginning of the year, meaning hallways will use structured and one-way crowd flow, social distancing in classroom seating, no large indoor gatherings, only essential visitors allowed in schools, and dining in classrooms or small groups in the cafeteria. Adam Chen, professor at the UGA College of Public Health, says he believes that there is a lot students, parents, and staff can do to encourage a healthy environment to learn in.
It's probably educate both of the students and probably also parents as well about the importance of wearing masks if possible, hand washing, and about it needs to act responsibly.
Though the superintendent decided there is no longer a mask requirement, students will still need to wear one while on the bus. The school system is encouraging students to wear a mask while in school buildings and, if eligible, to get vaccinated. Alexis Elmore, Grady Newsource.
Now, Election Day is less than 2 weeks away, and one of the more important issues is on the Athens-Clarke County ballot. Will there be a yes or no vote on an e-splosh tax? Grady Newsource, Davis Baker joins us live at the ACC Elections Office.
Because it's a sales tax, there was a decrease to start coming from it. But since then, there's been about a $2 million monthly stream coming in from that tax, which actually exceeds the expectation that the school district set, which was only at about $1.85 million coming in monthly.
This is an existing tax, so the vote on November 2nd is essentially a renewal vote. The Director of Facility Planning and Construction for the Clarke County School District says some big plans are on the horizon if the e-splosh vote passes.
Our Tier 1 project is a new middle school for Clarke Middle. That's probably the largest project that we have. We also have several schools that are on their 15 to 20-year systems renewal plans, such as Cedar Shoals, Gaines Elementary, Alps Elementary, and Cleveland Road.
In addition to those upgrades, student devices and laptops will be refreshed.
Now, Davis, has the pandemic affected the need for this tax?
Projects like Clarke Middle would probably have to pause, and they would have to redo the bill for next year's cycle, the 2022 midterms. Upgrades to technology and computers could be affected as well.
Tax does not pass. What would some of the implications be, Davis?
For the rest of this week, you'll be limited to voting here at the Athens-Clarke County Elections Office downtown. But starting on Saturday, October 23rd through Friday, October 29th, multiple voting locations will open all around Athens. So for more information on that, go to the Athens-Clarke County website. I'll send it back to you in the studio, Tyler.
Thank you, Davis. And starting this Saturday, now we have to head over to Madison County, where election workers are actually overseeing the early voting and gearing up for Election Day. Grady Newsource reporter Megan Middlehammer has the rest of the latest numbers.
I'm here at the Madison County Board of Elections office, the only location where residents of Madison County can early vote. Earlier today, I spoke with Teresa Hilburn at the elections office to talk about early voting and why this precinct changed.
They renovated this and it's helped us store their equipment better. It gives a lot more room for our voters. We're able to put up more machines. At our previous place, the only 10 was our limit on machines, and now we can do 15.
There's been an average of 33 early voters per day since it started last Tuesday, and a total of 225 voters. There is a county-wide T-splosh vote. The city of Comer will elect its next mayor. That race is between Joey Wilbon and Jimmy Yarborough. The cities of Carlton, Colbert, and Comer have votes for city council members. And the big race is for the District 3 Commission special election. The candidates are Melanie Dove, Frank May, and Marilyn Walton.
Early voting is no lines. It's very easy. I was coming through town anyway.
You can find the daily voting report on the main page of the Board of Elections website. The main issues voters need to be aware of, Tyler, is who they're voting for and how they can early vote. The Board of Elections office here behind me is open this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for the last weekend of early voting. Early voting ends October 29th. For Grady Newsource.
For Oconee County residents to request an absentee ballot for the November 2nd election. It is also the last day for Oconee County Board of Elections, and registration can mail one out. This comes a week earlier than normal.
On October 16th.
They can also mail it, but we have to have it in the office by Friday. So it's probably preferable that they bring it in or email it. They could also fax it as well.
You can also call the office or stop in to the person and request an application to be mailed to you. Police are also asking anyone with information about the 6 armed robberies that occurred this weekend to contact them. Grady Newsource reporter Wyman Bailey tells us what happened and what police are doing to try to prevent the next robbery.
On October 16th and 17th, around the times 12 a.m. and 1 a.m., armed robberies occurred. 2 men with guns would approach citizens who were walking down the street and demanded money or any other valuables they had. Officer Sean Barnett said that it is too early into the investigation to make a connection that the armed robberies are all linked. However, the description of the men connect them at every robbery. The robberies occurred throughout Athens, Georgia on streets such as Dr. MLK Jr. Parkway, Willow Street, and Vine Street. Barnett gave a few tips about what citizens can do in the future to prevent another robbery from occurring.
As well, so when traveling out late at night, if possible, use reputable ride shares such as Lyft or Uber. I understand oftentimes that's not always practical. So if you do find yourself having to walk to and from your destinations, just try to plan your routes accordingly so you're not caught off guard or finding yourself in unfamiliar territory.
When it comes to the public worrying, Barnett tells the public just to stay vigilant and to make sure to take every step to protect themselves. Police are asking anyone with information to please contact them immediately. Wyman Bailey, Grady Newsource.
There are about 47,000 deaths by suicide in the United States each year, which averages to about one suicide every 11 minutes. Barrow County is hosting a suicide prevention walk this Sunday to fight against these staggering numbers. Grady Newsource reporter Shailene Carroll has more on the initiative.
I'm here outside First Christian Church in Winder, the starting point for this weekend's Out of the Darkness Suicide Prevention Walk. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States, and only the second leading cause of death for people aged 10 to 34. This walk, like many other campus and community walks, is raising money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, or AFSP.
It also is this amazing opportunity for people to come together and to find and share hope and healing. And even for those who have been struggling with their own thoughts of suicide, to see how many people care.
The money donated to AFSP funds community programs, informational resources, public policy advocacy, and research grants. Barrow County had their first walk in 2019, then a virtual walk in 2020 due to the pandemic.
My connection to this walk is very personal. My oldest son, Candler Smith, February of 2017, he had taken his own life.
Since then, Smith and First Christian Church have made extensive efforts to raise awareness and create mental health support within the community.
My hope of what this walk is going to bring to people is to know that you're not alone, that it's okay not to be okay.
The walk will begin at 2 p.m. this Sunday, October 24th, here at First Christian Church in Winder. This has been Shailene Carroll, Grady Newsource.
Coming, and so is the possibility of higher energy bills. Find out how you can lower energy consumption and save money this upcoming season. Next.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other.
on a deeper level. Father,
Cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward. Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Now, don't forget to turn off the lights. The U.S. Energy Information Administration forecasts higher utility bills this winter. Grady Newsource reporter Michelle Ortiz is here to tell us why we are seeing an increase in energy prices and steps you can take to save money this winter. Michelle, what is going on? We need to save money with our utility bills this winter.
Hi, Tyler. So the EIS report predicts that southern residential homes will be paying an average of 22% more on natural gas and 7% more on electricity. This is due to higher prices and not to the rise in consumption. So as you can see here, the prospect comes as many Georgians are already paying more for other things such as groceries and gas.
But Michelle, why are utility bills projected to be more expensive?
Well, the EIS attributes this to a low stock on inventory on natural gas, as well as in electricity. I spoke to several professionals and talked about how you can save money this coming winter. Jesse Hall says the biggest mistake residents can make is changing the thermostat.
Changing that up and down, then the walls are heating and cooling, and it's making it work that much harder to keep it.
Housing and indoor environment specialist Pamela Turner says communication is key when trying to save energy.
We need to be on the same page, so communication is actually part of good energy saving strategies. And with children, you could teach children, and the children will teach the parents and remind them to turn things off.
To lower energy consumption, it is important to get back to the basics. Open curtains to let light in and naturally warm in your house. Unplug appliances so you are not using them. And do not forget to turn off the lights. Back to you, Tyler.
Due to COVID-19, the pandemic and hospitals are in need of healthcare workers. Grady Newsource reporter Alyssa McDaniels tells us how Jackson County's Empower College and Career Center is preparing students for the medical field.
U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics states that employment in the medical field is down by over 500,000 jobs since February 2020. Hospitals have reported a drop in employment of 5,800 jobs just between March 2021 and April 2021. Since opening July 30th of this year, Empower College and Career Center offers programs that equip students in various career fields ranging from advanced engineering to health, pharmacy, and patient care. Empower offers career pathways to students in grades 9th through 12th. CEO John Easler says how due to Empower's partnership with Piedmont Regional, students are able to get intensive job shadowing and clinical experience.
We have students that can walk out of here as certified phlebotomists. We have students that can walk out of here as CNAs or CCMAs. We have students that can walk out of here as pharmacy techs. Being able to have those real hands-on experiences in a facility makes it that much better.
Easler says that Piedmont has given a $75,000 cash donation plus donated high-end equipment. He says both of which have allowed for the making of a functional healthcare lab, including an exam room, surgical suite, biotechnology lab, patient care area, and mock pharmacy. Easler says while they are currently working on a new and better functioning website, anyone interested in learning more may see their Facebook page called Empower C3.
Up next, Grady Newsource's Ballard Acaway has the update on the sunny weather ahead for your weekend.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie.
Nailed it.
We all full of warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on, man, let's put a ride home.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
And now, the weather.
I'm Ballard Ackway with your Grady Newsource weather report for the rest of you. Today, we've seen the typical transition from summer into fall, a hot out followed by chillier temperatures into the night. After high 70s throughout the day, expect temperature into the mid-60s beginning around 8 o'clock tonight. Also, for all you lunar enthusiasts and astronomers, there will be a full moon tonight in Athens. As the sun sets at 53 tonight, expect to start seeing the moon around 7:11 p.m. The day should bring nothing but sunshine and clear skies. Thursday will be cloudy, but the high will reach 75 degrees with the low only dipping to 62. Starting highs will reach 77 degrees with less than 15% chance of rain each day. Friday will be a bit cloudy in the morning, but look for it to clear up as the day goes on. Saturday is perfect, however, with highs of 77 and 80 without a cloud in the sky and wind. Nights will be chilly over the next 5 days. Lows will fall into the low 50s Friday and Saturday. The low on Thursday will only fall to 62, however. Get your jackets and bring extra layers as you go out in the evening this week. I'm Ballard Ackway and for a Grady Newsource weather report.
After the break, Riley Armont tells us who will be hitting the field for the highly coveted Georgia-Florida game.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school.
Jessica has been through a lot in her life from early childhood.
My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She came in looking to complete her diploma. She had a family she had to take care of. Anytime she needed help, we provided her help. She realized that we were here for her.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
My graduation, it was something I will never forget. I couldn't explain the emotion I was feeling because people like you and me sometimes may have doubts in ourselves, but I feel that everything's possible.
Jessica's future is brighter than ever.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
Finally found a place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
And now, sports.
Good evening, I'm Riley Armont with your Grady Newsource Sports. It's a bye week for the Bulldogs, so don't forget the next game for the Dogs will be on October 30th in Jacksonville, Florida against the Gators. In his latest press conference, head coach Kirby Smart says that we can expect to see Christopher Smith back on the field for the Florida game as he was cleared last weekend. George Pickens is not yet cleared to play, but Smart says that he is progressing and getting better each day. Arian Smith was supposed to play last week's game, but Coach Smart says that at the time his injuries were still questionable. Coach Smart says that he hopes to see Arian Smith back on the field for the Florida game, but all that depends on his pain tolerance. Kenny McIntosh has yet to be cleared due to his hamstring injury, but Coach Smart says that he's also working hard to get back out there.
Guys that are injured are trying their best. They're at rehab each day. They're working to get back, and we're focused on getting the guys we have healthy better.
This has been Riley Armont with your Grady Newsource College Sports.
After the break, Grady Newsource's reporter, Sam Perez, tells us about the weekly farmers market Friends at UGA's Miller Learning Center.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She carried 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Touchdown! Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters. Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. But I need that back. No. Kevin!
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
I was just wondering, the University of Georgia Music Business Program held a showcase at Tate Plaza today.
And you can barely hear the words.
Program. Artists included Sophia Barkhouse, Rhymes with Japan, Joshua Bennett Band, Lane Marie, and Isaac Ashby. The showcase allowed students and artists to represent their music business program in the best way they know how, through song. That's Grady Newsource. Thank you for this Wednesday. I'm Tyler Johnson. Please stay safe and enjoy your evening.
Production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
There is a road laid out for me, leading down to
boxes everywhere. And this is gonna be Addie's room.
I am blind, but I need not see.
I think you're really gonna like it.
I know this road is there for me. There is a love waiting for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Waist down by the river. I am blind, but I need not see. I know this love is there for me.
Nice and slow.
I got this. Take me down to the river and watch me.
What do you think?
What if you could feel in control of your retirement in just a few clicks? At aceyourretirement.org, you can. Start with a free 3-minute chat with Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer some simple questions like, how do you feel about your ability to save for retirement? Or in how many years do you want to retire? To get free action items customized just for you, get your retirement back on track at aceyourretirement.org.
All right, I think we're on air, are we? Thank you, Sam. Yeah, thank you. All right. I think we're on live. Okay, I'd like to introduce a guest who watched our show, Professor Dodie Cantrell, who actually developed this program, taking over from David Hazinski. So this has been something that she has worked on for a long time and continues to work. And we are very honored to have her here to take a look at what we're doing so that we can see what we're doing well and what we can do a little bit better. So the way we've been conducting this, Professor Cantrell, is I've started letting the producers talk, and they're 3 and 3, like 3 things they did well, 3 things they can do better. But since we have you here, I'd like for you to start and take as much time as you need.
I am happy to do that, obviously. But I'd really be interested in hearing from the producers because, I get to see the show, but I'd just like to hear what was on their mind.
So let's do the producer first?
If you don't mind, that would be great.
Okay. All right, Allison.
All right, well, just for everyone, getting your content in. Everyone did, super awesome getting content in. I would say for things that we did well was content, and then everyone was, really communicative for the most part about what their content was going to be, so I appreciate that. And then everyone was really willing to do everything. Sam Perez, I don't know where she went, but she did so many things for me today, and that didn't even get aired, but she was still happy to do it, so that's really awesome. Thank you all for doing that. On things we could work on, I think really trying to stay to the 1 minute and 30 on packages, or letting people know as soon as possible, which I think people did, but really trying to keep it down to the 1:30 because it is kind of hard, right at 4:30 when everyone's actually it's going to be 1:52 and you're well, so I think that's definitely something to work on. And other than that, that was kind of really my only thing. I think everyone worked really well and was really open, and everyone did great. I think it turned out looking really well. Tyler, I think you did a great job. Sorry we threw you for some curveballs there, but I think you rolled with it really well, so I appreciate that.
I still think we had quite a few packages with just one source. We had people working from Monday and barely making the second source on their packages, so I think this we can do better. Better preparedness, as we discussed on Monday. And also, Professor Cantrell asked me, why did we have so many look lives instead of packages? Why did we decide to do so many look lives, which is okay, but it's a little too much within the same show, because that wasn't our plan, as far as I remember initially, to have so many look lives, people fronting their packages.
Right. I think a lot of the stories today I thought would look really good with the look live, so that was kind of the direction that we took it. And then since we kind of had to rearrange the rundown pretty last minute, I think the way it ended up being stacked was that there were a lot in the A block, but I think just that was kind of my take initially, that a lot of them would look really good like that, and I didn't necessarily think about how many it would be altogether.
Our digital producer today, Emma, we only have one mic, so.
Hello. Okay, so great job. 3 things we did good. As always, everybody's very quick and communicative via Slack. If I ask you guys for B-roll or some additional information on your stories, everybody got back to me very quickly. So that's good. Another thing I think we did really good was with the stories. I love with, the MMJs are the ones who are really in it and know what they're writing about and reporting on. So if you have ideas for digital, please let me know. Michelle was like, let's do a GIF, which I've never made a GIF before, but I did it because Michelle had the cool idea. So that's another thing I think we did really good was, expressing our ideas for the story on different platforms other than the broadcast. And another thing we did well was, that's 2. Let's see, something we can improve on would be, I think Nikki said this on Monday, but thinking of the visual elements when going out and getting your footage, what would look good on social. I know I mentioned this morning that Davis's Spike Squad package is really good on Instagram, so I wanted to try and find another good visual package of that sort to get on Instagram, but I feel like today we didn't have as many options for that, so I guess always just paying attention to the visual aspect of it, so it can go on those kinds of platforms. But yeah, overall, visuals, just thinking in a visual aspect, I like when giving your information to me, I like if you hyperlink your sources in there, just so I can get some additional information if needed. So that's another thing we can do. And I know I said everybody was very I guess just always keep your notifications on, so then it's as quick as possible. That's another good point. So, cool.
All right, thank you. Heard from our TV producer, digital producer. Would you like to hear from some of the MMJs, or?
No, I have a couple of things I'd like to share with them, and I'd like to kind of hear some responses, if that's good with you. All right. So I'm Dodie Cantrell, and it's wonderful to be here with you guys. I creep and watch your shows anyway, and I do you see old people like your grandparents throwing stuff at the television. That would be me. But I don't do that with your show because the truth of the matter is, I think you guys are doing a great job. I think you guys have come along, really a long way in a short period of time, and I think that's to your credit. I got to tell you, Tyler taught you all something today that I hope you carry with you for the rest of your lives that could save your job. We accidentally went to him. All it takes is a little button push in the middle of a break, and he was doing this with his papers. He could have been picking his nose. He could have been shooting from your butt. We're on television, huh? Oh, I just did it. There are 1,000,001 horrible things that an anchor could have been doing when we accidentally take him live to air, and he didn't do any of those things. And that's a mark of a professional. So I would just say to you, he reminded us of something that we like to remind you guys of. If you're in front of a camera, always assume it's hot. Always assume your mic is hot. So good on you. I would say, I don't know, hey, Harper, are you back there? Is the director back there? Hey, you. I was just going to mention a couple of things for the director when we set Tyler up. Tyler, you did a really good job. He has great voice inflection. Producer, did you rewrite some of the leads, or did the anchors write all their leads? Or the MMJs, rather. Yeah, my bad. Those are really good leads. A lot of the time, especially with young journalists, we tend to back into the lead. We do all this background, and everybody's going, please, give me the news. I thought you guys did a wonderful job. I thought your anchor did a really good job selling it. The thing is we want to see a little bit more of the anchors. So I was just going to say, Harper, if we could do a little bit less headroom with the anchors, it would make them a little bit more prominent. And the other thing I was just curious about was the stinger. I didn't know if that was like a preset that we accidentally had and we couldn't get out of? Because we've got this new fancy TriCaster. It does 1,000,001 things.
Yeah, so that ugly, annoying stinger.
It was attractive. It just wasn't.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Okay, maybe it was wearing like a ball gown to a football game.
Yeah, no, so I have no idea why that was there, honestly. I didn't catch it until it started happening, and I was like, oh, that's gross. But I think that was there from Sports Source's show, and what would happen, unfortunately, would be like we would come back to a lead where you were supposed to be talking, and you would start talking, but it would like cut off like basically your first sentence because the stinger was so obnoxious. We're going to remove it. I tried to remove it during B block, but when I tried to edit it, it started coming up on program, like during the middle of the show. So Darby and I got off that. Darby would love to stay and talk to y'all, but she has to go and set something up for one of her other extracurriculars. But she did a great job directing y'all today. But yeah, so going forward, we're not going to have any of that business there again.
But it's a cool stinger. It's just, it's like wearing the right piece of jewelry.
Yeah, I think Michael or somebody might have left that up for Sports Source because they like to play with all that kind of gimmicky stuff.
So quick question about it. Is there a way, and this is something for everybody to think about, kind of always walk through your stuff and leave yourself time, whatever you're doing, whether you're an MJ, whether you're a producer, you're running like this all the time, and you make all the pieces happen. And as you get more experience, you'll make all the pieces. Oh, that's the only mic. As you get more experience, you'll make all the pieces happen even more quickly and efficiently, and that is dangerous actually, because you start to get chill about whether you need to check your work or not. Just don't be chill about it. In fact, the more experience you get, the more paranoid you should get about checking your work. So I was just curious about that. Let's see. You guys really do a wonderful job with these audio interviews. They could get boring really quick if you guys all use the same template, but they don't because you use different templates. That said, why are we doing so many audio interviews? Where are people? We're television. Where are people? Have they just all gotten used to Zoom and you can't get them out of their pajamas? Is that the deal? For real? Yeah, here. Yeah. So that's going to be something. There's 1,000,001 reasons why that happens. The best way to get over that, I would just say, is any of you fish? No, somebody fishes. All right. Okay, you've been fishing, but you fish. So will you catch more fish if you just bait one hook and hang out, or do you have a better shot if you put 10 lines out? More hooks, more lines. I'm just saying, we have the tendency, and we all do this, we will call one person, and then we will go, oh, mercy, what they're going to call. Gosh. You need to call 5 people. And then you feel bad when 4 of them call back, and oh, I just canceled my dental appointment and took my children out of school to do the interview with you. Oh, sorry, ma'am. So-and-so called back earlier. I'm not coming to see you. But do that. Don't wait on people because you have to work quickly. The other thing I would say about all your packages, I was really impressed at the news content you guys had in here. It was like, it mattered, and it matters to the community. So kudos to you guys for catching that. The thing that I would say at this point in your development, when you think about news stories, it's impressive that you know what's happening and you get the newsmakers that are making it happen. You guys did an incredible job with that. But can I just say, sometimes politicians and people, and their information's important, but it can be a little bit boring. But what they're doing is important. So think about its import. So I always like to look at it as, here's information. Okay, that's the person that's going to give me the information. But what's the impact? Because those are the interesting people. If we're talking about E-Splost and T-Splost, which, by the way, I'm an old lady, been paying taxes for a very long time. But remind me what those are, because E-Splost and T-Splost are not yet like the FBI. Right. Yeah. So I kind of know that, but I'm a news nerd. Of course I know it. But I don't know that it resonates. You know how when you're writing, you've got certain acronyms that you can use, like FBI. People know that. They know CIA. Not so sure they're there yet with E-Splost and T-Splost. Frankly, if they are, then boy, we've been having extra taxes for too long. I'm just saying. My humble opinion. So don't assume that knowledge, because truth of the matter, okay, Hands up. How many of you were all about the T-splosh and the E-splosh before you walked in and had to do a story on it? Everybody. Nobody, right? Assume that most people are like you. Help people understand the information. Does that make sense? But think about how much more money, if the E-splosh and T-sploshes pass, how much more money am I paying if I go buy a candy bar? Or 5, as I like to do it one time. No. How much more money are we paying on what's the average grocery bill? How much more money are we paying? Because when I vote for or against something, I want to know the impact. So, and you might have a story that you might like a little bit more if you think about, all right, here we are with E-splosh, or I'm going to use T-splosh, with transportation. If we pass it, we get this new road, this new road, this new road. And here's what my grocery bill is if I spend $100 a week. If we don't pass it, we have this pothole, this pothole, this pothole, or whatever, whatever the situation is if we don't pass it. And here's my grocery bill if we don't pass it. Do you think it might be easier to decide how I want to vote? So think about the impact. I always call it the double I's because I can't remember anything, so I have to make things really simple. So I go, got a package, double I. What's my information? What's the impact? I'm good to go. And generally you'll find that you won't have problems with all your video because you'll be able to get good video. We don't love man on the street stuff. We don't, because that's just anecdotal. But if you presented somebody with a copy of, if you asked, how much do you spend on groceries? And you did some math with a couple of people. This is Dodie Cantrell. She spends $1,000 a week. Okay, she spends, all right, she doesn't really go grocery shopping very much. So I don't know. Maybe $100 a week. She spends $100 a week with the T-splosh. It's going to be that much more. Dodie Cantrell says, I don't know about that now. Or Dodie Cantrell says, yeah, no problem. I want to ride on a good road. Or whatever the case may be. Does that make sense to everybody? I noticed we had an issue with the question. I think we addressed that. We don't have any way of for them to hear out in the field, do we? We used to have something called, we used to have Unity.
So usually we use Unity, which is basically like a pretty wonky walkie-talkie software that you can use on your smartphone. That's what we were talking to y'all about, like in that initial meeting. Like, y'all are gonna have to use Unity. We really harped on it. We ran a live shot earlier this year without Unity, and it was just on a call. But the difference was the anchor had an AirPod in. That's how we were able to do that. So they were able to hear. There's just some way that they were able to hear the cue and hear the questions directly. Now we can get back to that, but I was not able to. We were dealing with a lot of stuff before the start of the show today. We had to change the entire rundown, whatever, and throw in a couple things, floats a couple things. And I was just happy enough that I got your live shot set up because for a minute there, you were all set up in there, but we couldn't find the input in there. And I had to call Neil, sweet baby Neil. But we got everything set up. So going forward, we will be a lot more smooth with that kind of anchor to reporter conversation. I will say though, despite that, and us direct queuing you, y'all did really good. And especially after the first question, your timing was scarily good. But yeah, we'll work on that going forward. And the thing with Unity, I don't know if we're gonna abandon it. It's pretty archaic, especially if you look at the app itself. So I'd be looking to move towards something else that maybe has multiple channels, maybe like a Unity. But not quite, especially when y'all get into more advanced stuff, or if you do any kind of special shows, like I know Cantrell does, a special election show where we at one point had an anchor in studio, a reporter out somewhere else, and we had people live interviewing people in the path. So it was crazy, it was nuts, and that's something that we need more than one audio channel for, right? So we'll work on that going forward. But other than that, y'all were very, very flawless today for what it was worth.
Yeah, I thought you guys were too. I love how Harper says, it's just going to get better from here. A lot of stuff will, but then other stuff will happen because that's just the nature of the beast, guys. It's live television. I thought you guys did an incredible job, though, of being really composed. About the look live, I do think that could have worked. I thought that was a really good idea. the thing I would say with each of you, if your producer gives you a look live, you have to own that thing because that's special airtime. So you have to do something with it. So if you're going to do a look live open, make it count. There was one look live where the young lady was in Winder at a church, and she said, this church back here. So at least there was a reference. I felt like, oh, that's why she's there. And the church was doing something special, and I can't remember what it was. Yes, that was really good. So she at least video referenced where she was. But I would just encourage you, stand-ups are meant to illustrate or demonstrate. So if you have a producer that's giving you special extra face time, you've got to sing and dance in it. I do not mean that literally, okay? Unless your story is about singing and dancing, then okay. But, you know, if you have that face time, then make your producer proud because she's counting on you to be a special area of interest. So illustrate or demonstrate, and at the very least, reference. Let's see. When you write your lead-ins for your anchor, be careful that you don't repeat information. Sometimes in your stand-up opens, you would repeat what the anchor just said. It is a sure sign for people to turn away, and that can be really difficult. But think about it this way. If you shoot your open first, then, and you want to use it and you like it, then you get something different to say. You guys are clever writers. Highly unusual to have sophisticated writing this early. The turn out your lights. I mean, honestly, that's pretty sophisticated. The other thing, the crime story. Who did the crime story? Yeah, on that one, I would urge all of you to be careful of language that separates you from your audience. Just think about it. If you're on television, or frankly, on this device, you know, digital is king. Let's just, just keep it real. It is, especially with your generation. It is with mine, too. But you have to think about what is feeding digital. What is feeding digital video? And that's still primarily television. So you are in an intimate relationship. When you're coming up, when your face is coming up on my phone or on my iPad or on my television, you need to be intimate with me and not have these distancing words. There are words that we use that are like newspeak. The word citizen, people use that a lot. If you think about it, what is a citizen? I'm not so sure if I'm talking about citizens that everybody's really a citizen. Not in the textbook definition of like the citizenship badge I got in Girl Scouts. Residents, citizens. Why aren't we're people? We're just people. Yeah, yep. So really think about that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But listen, if those are the things to work on, I'd much rather work on that than hello. Do you know news? Sports. You have a really nice presence. My question to you is, why was it just one story? You did a great job with the graphics. But if you're going to get that much airtime, why are you doing a package that just makes you look magical with a topic that everyone loves? Okay, good. Because you have such a presence. But if you rely just on that presence, you don't want to do that. Let's see. More remarks on the stinger. What's that stinger? Madison County. Great election. Right? I know, it was scary. I was...
But it really looked like we were hitting Tyler in the face every time. And then we started hitting Davis, And
sometimes it looked like he was ducking. Yeah. Tyler, keep your body open. Keep your hands open. Don't clasp them. You're not scared. You know what you're doing. You have great voice cadence. You have great rhythm in your voice. You understand, what you're reading. You don't have to close yourself off. Last thing that I would say is write to your video. The story on the Empower Oh my God, the creepy mannequins in the bed. Did y'all see those? The Empower story. Okay, who did the Empower story? Okay, that shot you had of the creepy mannequins that were lying in the hospital bed? I would have been much more interested in an organization that is teaching me how to treat those people if you were telling me about what I was seeing as opposed to some brick buildings. So think about, we tend to we go, oh, we don't have any B-roll because this is what my story needs to say. Kind of flip the script in your head and go, this is a crummy B-roll that I have. Thank goodness I'm a great writer. How can I write to this B-roll? So was that like a learning lab? Right. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Those were part of the equipment that I was discussing in my package that Piedmont had donated. So like Piedmont had donated money as well as like thousands of dollars worth of equipment. So that was my effort to show the equipment.
So what was that equipment?
Medical equipment. Like,
were they like real life mannequins?
They were like, I guess CPR dummies.
So here's the thing.
Yes, ma'am.
We're not sure if they were. I don't know what they were. For a second, I thought they were people. Okay, and I was like, knowing, oh no, HIPAA violation. Yeah, but it right. But if you had said something like, they look so realistic, but they are CPR mannequins. Mannequins to teach people how to do CPR. And donated by the hospital. I'm much more interested because you're really walking me through that video. So I would just challenge you guys when you do your packages and you complain about the video you don't have, obviously get the complaint out first because that's who we are. It's what we do. But once a complaint is out, then you go, I can make magic because I'm a journalist. I know how to get the facts. I know how to verify the facts. I understand information. I understand impact. And now I'm going to make this B-roll sing. That's kind of all I got.
Love all this advice. I love especially the thing about the video and trying to speak just kind of to I learned this from you. Say something, show something, because it's as simple as that. I'm going to borrow the impact too. We always talk about real people, right, and how important it is. Thank you for all this great advice, especially the video and the fishing. Oh, that's awesome, the fishing. I don't think Wyman will ever forget the fishing, the hooks.
Oh, next time he goes fishing,
Yeah, and I don't think he will ever use Citizens again. He's gonna, yeah. Well, you know, I'm working with some. You know, they're all.
There's so much good
they
stuff,
they.
news content, the hard stuff.
Yeah, I do send him his scripts back and ask him to rephrase things, and he's very good about that. And sometimes it's several times, and he doesn't. I hope you don't hate me, but I work with them. Each and every one of them has enormous strengths, and I mean they're awesome. But each and every one, I have a little plan and a little thing I keep nudging them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in our classes if they knew everything, and we'd be out of a job. So, so don't worry about that. It's constructive criticism because, sorry, I choked up a little bit. No, I'm just anyway. Hopefully I'm still alive and kicking like those mannequins. I'm not there, but the mannequin thing was just great advice, and I think you will never forget that. The mannequin thing. Yeah, you just have to. If something strikes you as unusual in your B-roll, then it's going to be unusual for the people also. They're going to say, what is that? I mean, it was striking, Alyssa. When I looked at it, I couldn't figure out what it was. And that means that the reporter has to be... Thank you, Professor Cantrell.
Thank you very much.
Great advice, and we love the humor.